All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Hopefully, this thing is freezing up. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. All right, so it looks like we're in altcoin season. I'm looking at, and I'll share my screen here shortly, but I'm looking at the altcoin season indicator, and we're at 49. I think recently we were at 51. But what's moving pretty nicely here is Ethereum. Ethereum's at 3,752. So it's getting back up to that $4,000 mark. And usually Ethereum marks the start of altcoin season. Now, a lot of people were thinking it was going to be Solana, and it still could be the case. But I think Solana just had a pre-run. Because if you remember, due to the FTX whole debacle, it fell like over 90%. So for me, it was just getting back up to its old levels because it is a solid level, layer one project. And I think it was just recovering from that whole FTX thing. But a lot of people thought, oh, it's taking over Ethereum. Ethereum's going to the wayside and so on and so forth. But we've seen that with BlackRock, they're not stopped. They didn't stop buying the spot ETF for BTC, but they increase their purchases of Ethereum, and it's starting to supersede the purchases of the spot ETF for BTC. Let me just make sure my mic is working. Give me just a sec. Let me make sure my mic is working. Give me just a sec here. Spot ETF for BTC. Let me just make sure my okay, looks like my mic is working pretty good. Okay, let me share my screen so we can look at some of these alts. Okay. So like I was saying, the altcoin season indicators at 49. Typically, once we get into that 70 to 80 range, that's when we're considered to be an altcoin season. And the BTC dominance needs to get to around 50 or a little bit low 50 or the low 50s. But it looks like, I'm not sure why this is not moving. Okay, but it looks like this altcoin season indicator is moving up pretty nicely here. Yeah, so if you remember, it was at 20. It was at 20 and or a little bit below 20. So people were not interested in altcoins. But now that Ethereum's starting to spike up, we also got the Genius Act passed, I believe, the other day. So it's very positive for the market. And yeah, and if you take a look at Ethereum, again, just blowing through, right? It crashed heavily from 3,800 all the way down to 1,200. People thought it was over. But I think it's important to know, I'm trying to zoom out of this. Maybe if we go to trading view. Okay, yeah, now we can zoom out. And then if we go to, they got a month chart. Okay, let's go by a week. Okay, yeah, so if we look at the old, the past bull cycle, I mean, you could see there's a bunch of dips, right? So that's what people don't remember. They think it's just a straight shot up, and people don't remember, like, there's going to be dips like this. So when this crashed all the way to 1,200, people were saying, oh, it's over for Ethereum, so on and so forth. But they were saying that back with these dips here, right? Back in, what year is this? Does it tell me the year? Okay, it's right here at the bottom. And I got to get rid of this, reject these cookies. Okay, back in 2021, when we had this bull cycle for Ethereum. I mean, look at all the reds in between. All right, so I'm pretty sure if we go back and we look at Twitter, we look at whatever social media platform, people were saying it's over for Ethereum. But again, it made all-time highs. A lot of people are predicting Ethereum can reach 10 to 15,000 this cycle. The way it's moving, it honestly looks very possible, right? We're still in July. We have the rest of the year to move up, and it's already looking pretty good. I mean, 3750. I honestly think my target for Ethereum this cycle would be around 10,000 or 8 to 10,000. I think is a good number because you always got to look at the market cap, right? Market cap for Ethereum is, where's the market cap? Value, max supply. Okay, 452 billion. Right? Oh, here it's at the top. I guess they moved it. So for me, if it doubles, if it, let's just say it gets to $1 trillion, that already puts it around 7 to 8,000 bucks. So for me, that's very possible. Now, can it triple that? Can it do 1.3, 1.4 trillion? I think so because I mean, if we look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin's already at 2.3 trillion. And again, Ethereum's a fraction of that. So I think it could easily get to, if BTC is going to end up at, let's just say 3.5, 4 trillion by the end of this cycle, I think Ethereum could get to 1.3, 1.4. So it puts it around that $8 to $12,000 target or $15,000 target. Let's look at what else is moving here. So what people have been talking about as well is XRP. I'm not a big fan of XRP, but it's going to do good, right? It's a top 10 project and it's going to move. If you're in the top, you got to really think about it. When retail comes into the market, they look at the first coins on CoinMarketCap or just in general CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap. And this is what they're going to see. They're going to see Bitcoin. They're going to see Ethereum. They're going to see XRP. They're going to see BNB, Solana. So this is like people that don't really research, don't want to do much research. They go into these top coins just to get a 2, 3x, right? It's not until you get into like the 80s, low 80s, hundreds, that's where you're going to find a 20, 30, 40x and so on and so forth. And even some of these at the top, you're going to get a nice 5 to 10x. Like I think, so XRP, again, I was telling you guys this before, but somebody was saying, they think it's going to go to $1,000. That's just not going to happen, right? And you have these people on Twitter saying, oh, if, you buy $1,000 of XRP, you could change your family's life and so on and so forth. I just don't think that's going to happen. For me, there's just so many projects that are better than XRP for what it does as far as a payment for payments. I just think that there's just so many projects that are better at being a payment system than XRP. And I feel like it's just too overplayed. Now, I think because they won their lawsuit, that it's positive in the fact that the, new administration is crypto friendly and things like that. I think it's going to help it out. But I think long term, XRP may hold on, but I don't think it's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar asset just because we have so many other projects doing what this does at a better with better technology. So if we look at the market cap of XRP, it's at 200 billion. All right, let's just say it reaches $1 trillion this cycle. That's a 5x from here. That puts it at $15, 10 to $15. Nowhere near $1,000, right? And that's at $1 trillion market cap. You got to understand, Nvidia just hit a $4 trillion market cap, and that actually has some utility. It sells products, GPUs, and things like that. So there's no way XRP is going to hit 1,000 this cycle, or even $100, right? $100 is just too much. Again, I mean, everything would just have to go to zero and all the liquidity would have to go into XRP. Okay, so let's take a look at some other altcoins here. I think this cycle that are going to do good. I think Sui is going to do good. I'm not invested in Sui. But I think Sui is going to do good. Like the development team they come from, I believe it was Facebook, and they have good engineers. It's been picking up on social media platforms like Twitter, and you see it all over crypto Twitter, YouTube. People are talking about it. So it definitely has the marketing aspect of it. I've never used anything on Sui, so I'm not sure how the platform is, but I'm pretty sure if the developers are from Facebook, it has to be somewhat of a good project. And the fact that it's number 13, again, it just has that visibility. So when people start wondering what altcoins are going to go up, they're probably going to look at Sui first, right? Okay, now this next one that I think is going to do really well is Avalanche. Avalanche for me is just way undervalued. It's honestly, it's just as good as Solana, if not better, right? And what Avalanche is used for is a lot of gaming projects and things like that. I mean, it's almost, it has subnets, right? So you can go in and just build what you want to build. It's basically like Ethereum, but I think a lot faster, and it runs on proof of stake, which Ethereum transitioned to proof of stake. But I think when this at inception, this was already doing proof of stake. So it was already ahead of the game, and it's been around since the last cycle. I think this can at least get to its all-time highs, right? 125. A lot of people are bullish, and there's some altcoin ETFs that are supposed to get approved, and I think Avalanche is on that list of spot ETFs to get approved. People are saying once those altcoin spot ETFs get approved, altcoins are going to go crazy, and then you already see it, right? We're up, and again, this market cap is 10.6 billion. 10.6 billion. I could easily see this going to 80 to 100 billion this cycle, right? That's a 10x from here. That's 250 per coin. All right, I could see 100 billion once the altcoin season starts to pick up. Okay, and then so the coins that I think are really gonna take off are things like BitTensor. A lot of talk around BitTensor. It honestly has the same mock-up as like Avalanche with all the subnets. So basically, it's like an AI Airbnb, right? Like you go, you can create agents, you can create whatever you want with AI. There's subnets that offer GPU power, subnets that offer coding, help with coding, and subnets that offer, you could create your own AI chatbot, like if you need customer service. So it's just basically a platform where you could develop your AI company and very quickly. And I'm not sure that it's easily, like for me, what I hear, it's for a lot of technical people that know how to, code and stuff like that. But I think the next step for BitTensor is to make it accessible and easier for the regular Joe to go in and use the tools that they have to create AI agents, AI chatbots, and so on and so forth. But yeah, there's a lot of talk with this. A lot of people are saying that this can go to 10,000 this cycle. And again, usually the main narrative for the cycle, you could see that with some coins. And this is at a $4.3 billion valuation. For it to go to, 10,000, it would need to hit at least 100 billion. And I think there's going to be a few AI coins that go to that $100 billion valuation this cycle. AI is the hottest play in stocks. It's the hottest play in crypto. And I think BitTensor is going to be one of those ones that do pretty well. Now, a lot of people are turned off by the price, but again, you always got to think about the market cap, right? Just because it's at $429, it doesn't matter, right? If you put $1,000 and 10x's, you're gonna get $10,000 back. So you really got to look at the market cap. So market cap wise, it's at 4 billion, and people think it could get to 50 to 100 billion this cycle. Even if it got to 50 billion, I mean that's $5,000 per coin plus for BitTensor. So I think BitTensor is one of those ones. What else? And then you have the Near, and then the Near protocol is also another AI platform. You have things like Render that I think are going to do good. And then once you start getting below, like this FET, I think FET's going to do well too. Injective, I think Injective just filed for their spot ETF. So if that gets approved, that's going to be good. And again, it's more of what narrative is going to be the the strongest, right? And for me, that's going to be AI. Obviously, it's going to be easy to get a 2 to 3x on the first 100 coins, right? But it's finding those 10 to 20. And the thing is, you really need to have done your research and figure out, what coins deserve your attention. At this point, we're already in altcoin season. We're already started. I think what we've hit is the bottom for most altcoins. So I think those low entries are within the next week or so are really just going to go away. It may even be by the end of this weekend, right? Or already by the end of this weekend, starting by this week, because they're starting to heat up. I mean, we're seeing stuff up 25. Ethereum's up 25% with the market cap that it already has. Cardano's up 15%. Dogecoin is up 25%. And this is really just the beginning, right? Avalanche 17%. Litecoin 22%. Chainlink 22%. But what you're going to start to see is you're going to see certain sectors just take off. And I'm in my opinion, I think that's going to be the AI sector. So yeah, I think altcoin season is right around the corner. We're starting to see the indicator go up. It should be interesting. Okay, so let's play some chess. Let me get rid of my screen. Do that. And do this. And do that. Let's refresh. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play some Blitz. And we'll do it like that. I'll play around 3 games of Blitz. Um, oof. There we go. Is it? Yeah, I know what he's trying to do there. I don't think so, buddy. Yeah, I know what you're trying to do, dude. There we go. Perfect. Maybe I'll play 2 games. Two. But yeah, man, it's looking good, man. I'm excited for altcoin season. Took a while to get here, but everything looks like it's moving pretty good. So can't wait to see what the end of the year brings. Should be exciting. I think he just gave up or something. Yeah. I hate when people just stall out the game. Like, just play it out. I'm gonna, you know what? I was gonna report, but it is what it is. Yup, he's stalling out the game. That's what happens when people lose a piece. They get angry. I'm like, dude, just quit. Just resign. All right, boom, good. All right, one more, and we'll call it a day. People ask why, like, I don't do Rapid live. I maybe, I'll do it in the future, but right now I'm just trying to get my score up. But it's going up. My Rapid's at 1347, something like that. I hate when they do this. It's like, come on. You know what? I could do a 2-for-1. I'm not afraid of it. Yeah, I'm not afraid. Bro, you just gave up a piece? I don't know what he's doing. Here we go. Free piece. Free piece. Yes. There we go. Another free piece. Free piece. There we go. There we go. Either way, it doesn't matter. There we go. There we go. All right, buddy. He wants to draw. It's hilarious. Oh, darn it. There we go. You try to run. All right, that's pretty much it. But yeah, very exciting altcoin season for me, right around the corner. So prepare. Make sure you have an exit strategy. Make sure you know where your targets are at as far as your overall goals and how much you expect to make. What is realistic? Make sure you're looking at market cap. Make sure you're not being delusional. And yeah, hopefully you guys make a lot of money. That's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.